Hi, this is Khloe Thompson with True Star Media, and today I am with Foreman, who is starring in Showtime's Let the Right One In. So welcome and thank you for talking with me.
Thank you for the chance.
Yes, of course. So I'm gonna get straight into this. So Let the Right One In comes out on October 7th. So without giving away too many spoilers, what can we expect to see?
We can expect to see that this version, it's more of everyone recognizing and appreciating the human side of everyone, even in dark times.
Okay. I'm gonna see how I'm gonna interpret that, especially when I go watch it. So I was watching the trailer and it looks absolutely amazing. So what was it like filming on set since you guys filmed in the winter?
It was the winter part was pretty cold, but everyone, the environment of everyone, the cast and crew is amazing. Anika Noni Rose, Demian Bashir, Madison Taylor Baez, they're all amazing. Anika, she has amazing motherly instincts. And with Madison, I've been a social butterfly all my life. So like when I first met Madison, we just clicked.
I love that. I feel like it's amazing to like automatically click with the people, especially when you're working with them. And I feel as if you two, like, there's some interesting comparisons between your character and Eleanor. Like both of you guys are kind of lonely, the same age. She's battling with being a vampire and you're battling with being bullied. And you both are kind of isolated in a sense. So how did you connect with this character, Isaiah Cole?
With Isaiah Cole, this character is obviously being bullied. All my life, I wouldn't say, well, I've kind of been bullied. I've been belittled by not just kids, I've also been belittled by teachers because up until I started homeschool when I was in 5th grade, I had a serious talking problem. I got in trouble for talking even when I wasn't talking too much. I even had to be put on medication for it. And all my life, I was kind of been like told to throw away my voice, I guess you can say. But when I started acting, I guess that was kind of a way to express it. And now one of my jobs is to talk.
I love that. And I feel that's like the same way with me. I've been homeschooled since the 5th grade as well. And I had the same issues in school. I talked a lot. But that was one thing that was kind of what I went through as well. And so it's great to know that you're able to also connect with your character and kind of have a sense of, I guess, comparison and knowledge of what that feels like. And I know for me, like a lot of times I kind of went towards reading when it came to try to calm myself down and kind of work through these things. And I know that this series is based off a novel. So have you read it and how close is the series to the book?
I have not read the book. I've
Mm.
seen both of the movies.
Okay.
But I ordered the book and never actually read it.
Well, at least you ordered it and you can start it. But I guess more so since you haven't read the book, but you watched the other movies, would you say that like it's a big difference than the previous movies that were made before?
Yes. Well, in this series, it's more focusing on how far would you go for your child?
Mm.
What would you do for your child for you and her to survive?
That seems like a very big thing because I feel like a lot of movies, when it comes to the parent, it's always what would you do for your child, and I love movies that kind of follow that. And you actually have Anika Noni Rose, and she plays your mom in the series. So, what are some things that you've learned from her?
From Anika, just as I said, she has amazing motherly instincts. She so much so that she reminds me of my mother with the playfulness and just being supportive. But what I've learned from Anika, she's taught me some things about being a better actor. She just not just like about technique, but also of like being aware of where the camera is. It's always great to ask questions to the director or the producer just to clarify.
Yeah, and those are all important things to really know. And like I feel like a lot of times these things aren't taught to you, especially like asking questions. Like it's such a simple thing, but like in the back of your mind, you're like, I don't know if I should do it. So I think it's great to know these things and then have someone to help you kind of move you through it, and then also have like a sense of comfortability because she's almost like your mom. So this show is also kind of right on time for the Halloween spooky season. So what are your top 3 favorite scary movies?
Top 3 scary movies. Number 1, It.
Ooh.
Number 2, I saw a little bit of what's the Freddy Krueger movie?
Oh, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street. Does it have to be movies?
It could be a show if it's a show.
This one isn't really horror because I don't watch a lot of horror stuff, but I guess
Okay.
the third would be Stranger Things.
Ooh, that's a good one. I feel like I would consider that kind of like more on the thriller side.
Yeah.
It has its scary moments, but those are really good. Like Nightmare on Elm Street, those ones are great. I love those movies. They're classics. And one thing I always love to ask are some this or that questions. So my first one is, would you rather be a vampire or stay a human?
I'd rather say human because when you're a vampire, you kind of have to scavenge for blood, and that means that you would have to hurt people. Like you would, like you're a vampire, which I guess is pretty cool, but like it's at other people's expense.
I like that answer. You have like a good logic behind it as well.
Yeah.
Um, my next this or that is, would you rather be in the fall season or winter?
In New York, I would rather do fall. Well, technically, in New York, they're kind of the same thing if you count
Mhm.
out snow.
Okay, fair enough. I live in California, so like winter, it gets like kind of colder than in fall, because in fall it's kind of still like summer weather. Um, so I always like the winter more because it's a lot colder then.
Yeah, I'm from the South, so like if I was still down south, like it would be like it would definitely be it would be winter because like down south you don't see a lot of like snow. Like before I came up here, I hadn't seen snow since 2018.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because snow, I feel like, isn't that common out there. Same thing for California. It's not very common here. Okay, and then this or that, would you rather stay at home and watch scary movies or go trick-or-treating?
I would rather go I would rather go trick or treating because I get spooked pretty easily.
Oh, I see.
Like
I don't.
watching the original Let the Right One In movie that left a little bit of a scar.
Oh no. See, I love scary movies, so I like sitting home and watching them. It's great.
Yeah, like in my opinion, the scary movies are pretty cool because you have to count like the CGI and the work that everyone puts into it, but it's just it's just pretty horrifying for me.
Fair enough, fair enough. When you really take in everything that went behind it, it's not that bad. Um, so what would be your like ideal character role?
An ideal character role for me is, well, until I booked this role as Isaiah, I thought that an ideal role for me would be like animated and happy and like just like the best comedic timing. But since I booked that, I've seen that like drama, drama and thriller things are like my strong suit. Not like, well, like only comedic if it's like dry comedy, because now I'll like find a random script with that's like Nickelodeon and I'm terrible at it. It to me it just doesn't feel natural for me to do it because like I haven't done it in so long. So for right now, an ideal one would be Isaiah.
Well, I guess at least you found your perfect fit then. So I love all things movies, and like I'm a really big Marvel fan. So if you could be like any Marvel hero, who would you be and why?
A majority of the world would say this. My favorite superhero in the MCU was Spider-Man, because like he's just so cool. Who wouldn't want to swing around New York?
Very true. Spider-Man is awesome. I love Spider-Man. My favorite like variation is Miles Morales. I personally think he's the best Spider-Man. So that
I
one,
think
that
that he has the best suits too.
oh yeah, for sure.
Like his suit is like amazing.
It is. It's an amazing suit, and then like, he has like a coming of age story, and I love it. So what is your favorite Marvel movie?
Me and my dad have agreed on Avengers Endgame.
Ooh.
Because Endgame, despite it being 3 hours long, like the last hour was like so intense, and I just love the scene where everyone comes together, like everyone came back from the dust. And my favorite scene is where Black Panther comes out of the portal.
Oh yeah, that's one of the best ones.
Strange portals, and Captain America just says, "What does he say? Avengers Assemble."
Best scene.
That's like the best scene of the movie for me.
It really is, because you have all this build up to this moment and you hope that everyone comes back, and then they do. And so I love that movie. And so it's also one of my top Marvel movies. But my very last question for you are, what are like 3 pieces of advice you would offer to another young person wanting to become an actor?
You said 3 pieces?
Yes.
My number 1 piece of advice would be, in this industry, you have to be resilient, because not everything's going to be for you, but those losses, you have to let those losses be fuel for your next audition or like next opportunity, not even in acting but in life. You have to let it be fuel for you to work even harder. Another piece of advice would be, don't give up, because like I've seen people where like something doesn't go their way and they just want to quit whatever their passion is, whether it's like football, basketball, like they lose a big game and they just want to sit in a corner and give up. So that would be another piece of advice. And my last piece of advice would be, don't let anyone tell you what you can't do. Because like, I'm gonna admit this, like early stages in my life, I used to tell people, it wasn't like bullying, but I used to tell people that they can't do something. and then they showed me out, and I was like amazed by it. So don't let anyone tell you what you can't do, because as long as you have your trust in God, you can do anything.
And I love this, like really taking in and being resilient towards things. I feel like a lot of times people really get down and they give up because of, you know, something happening or things not going their way in a sense. But you kind of just kind of have to let that path make itself, and you got to work hard for it as well. Well, like this was an incredible interview. I had so much fun talking with you. So thank you for talking. Yes, thank you for talking with True Star. And I cannot wait to see you on Showtime's Let the Right One In. And I'll see you soon. Khloe out.